RCA Victor and its dealers present Burr Tillstrom, creator of Kukla, Ollie, and all the Kuklapolitan players, with Fran Allison in Kukla, Fran and Ollie.
Isn't that funny? I seem to see a streak on the back of our backdrop, and I don't understand it. It's just like a little nipper. That looks just like RCA. I wonder what that could be from. Can't get it off. I guess I'll have to launder. Near time for spring cleaning, I'd say. Ooh. I don't think that's been dusted for weeks. Cecil Bill! Cecil Bill, would you mind reporting on stage for a moment, please? Woohoo! Come on, right now. Pronto. Report. March now. Tui tui. New shoes. All right, let's hear you do it again. Boy, that was a snappy one. Try it again. Be careful. Just watch it. Kind of slippery shoes. Well, Cecil Bill, I don't like to complain, but I don't believe the stage is as clean as it should be. Down here. What do you mean that isn't your department? The P? Oh, and the stage hands out front. Well, would you mind getting up? He said, for the benefit of you that don't understand Tui talk, Fran, did you understand what he said?
East is east and west is west, but there is a twain shall meet.
You're very good, Fran. That was very good. Well, how about it, boy? Can't you just give them a little hint? Well, he said it's just like you, Jack, with the musicians' union and trying to interfere with the carpenters' union, for instance. It's just an entirely different branch. Well, I'll take care of it then. What's the matter? Well, I'm sorry, Cecil Bill, but I don't know why I can't. This is my theater. I own it. I should think that I would... Can I even give it a little... They wouldn't. Fran, you believe that?
I don't know. Cecil Bill is a pretty well-informed man on matters of this type.
He said if I touched it, something dire might happen.
Yes.
What were you going to say?
I thought he said somebody would clump you.
That's exactly what
Is that what he said?
Yeah. You got a good clump on the head, he said.
That's what I thought.
Oh, great. Oh, he's just fooling.
Well, I imagine that he'll probably speak to Pete. Maybe I could say a few words to him.
Well, what is it about honey catches more flies than vinegar or something?
That's right.
Well, honey, why don't you try it?
I will.
What did you do over the weekend?
Well, really not very much. How about you?
Well, except for our show with Cuff and Ernie Simon and everything, I kind of took it easy.
What'd you do Saturday?
Oh, Saturday afternoon I went to the zoo.
Oh, great. Gee, it was a lovely day,
Had a
wasn't it?
wonderful time. We went there. You know, there's a little part up in Lincoln Park Zoo that I think is one of the most beautiful spots in all of Chicago.
Which is that?
The Zoo Rookery.
Oh, yes, I like that, too.
Where all the little birds. It's kind of it's really a bird sanctuary, really, you know. And it's secluded. It's like in a little valley, and there are little hills around it and trees. And then they've made a little waterfall there, and there's a little pond, and the trees are so green. And,
Oh, yes.
and it was a little chilly, but
Yes, it was.
the sun was warm. And sitting down in that little glen, it's so warm. And we saw all these wonderful different birds.
Oh, the most fabulous birds I ever saw in my life.
Swans, and they all look like ballerinas.
Yeah.
They did, you
Well,
know.
they're very graceful and
Yes,
wonderful.
And some of them, there were some fellows sitting over in the rock there. We pretended it was a ballet, you see, ballet company, and they were all on vacation. And the swans were different ballerinas, and then there were some fellows, funny-looking birds, real, well, they're not really funny. Well, yes, they were funny-looking,
Were
as a
they?
matter of fact. They were standing over on the side, and they were pulling some rope, these birds.
Mm-hmm.
And we said those were the stage hands getting ready to lift the ballerina up by wires. then there were all the stage mothers,
Oh.
and then there was a wardrobe woman. She was wonderful. She kept going around. I think she was a duck, and she went cluck 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 like that.
Real busy.
Real busy. And then there was a stage manager,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was a very big tall dancer. He was a stork, and he kept bounding across the place like that. It was lots of fun.
I imagine it must have
I
been.
had popcorn, and I had peanuts, and I had some orange drink,
Did you?
and
Did you go over where the bears are, the bears that stand up and you throw some peanuts to them and they wait for more, reach out for more?
and
Aren't
two
they-
baby bears over there,
Two little baby
two
ones?
little cubs over there.
Great.
And but it was very wonderful. You know, there's a little so there's these birds, very rare birds that live in the rookery. But did you know that some of the wild ducks that come up, they're going north, they stop by there
Just a visit.
to visit, and some of them stay all year long because it's so safe. And I imagine the older ones kind of come there to settle down and retire.
Well, you remember the little,
Like people going
you
to
don't
Florida.
say a flock of ducks, what do you say? But a whole family of ducks
Family.
that stopped at
Formation.
the Hoffmans, don't you remember, and spent the summer?
Spent the summer out there. I
Yes.
remember. They're so cute, and they came up, and I saw Minerva Mallard.
You didn't.
She was
Was she well?
pretty well. Malcolm was well too.
That's good.
They're settling down now. They have grandchildren.
Have they? My, it just doesn't seem possible. They're so young looking.
I know. Well, they said they thought they would just sort of settle down and stay there.
Mm-hmm.
They ate lots of popcorn.
Did they really?
Yes, they did, and peanuts too.
I wish I'd known you were going. I should like to have gone with you.
Well, next time I'll let you know.
I wish you would.
Then we went to the opera Saturday night.
Oh, what a social whirl you
Oh, I
had.
know, it was really grand.
How was the opera?
Fine. I was all dressed up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was interesting. I wasn't sure. I didn't quite understand it.
Oh, didn't you?
Well, there were so many people on the stage doing so much that I couldn't tell who was singing.
You couldn't. My goodness, did they sing loud enough or what?
It looked like, well, you know how Madame Overpuss is when she's coaching the show. You know, she's of the old school.
Mm-hmm.
No, if she's singing on the stage, everybody else has to stand stock still or get off the stage.
Yes, but they didn't do that here.
No.
Everybody just went about
Everybody
it on.
moved. I mean, there were several little groups going back. I think way in the back, upstage, way up in the back, somebody was playing canasta, as a matter of fact.
You don't mean it. Gee.
Or the French equivalent. It was about France.
Mm-hmm.
La Boheme. Very nice.
Well, I wish I might have gone there, too.
Lovely voices. This poor girl. It was very sad. This poor girl, you see, she was singing. She never had a muff. She had wanted a little muff to keep her hands warm.
And she never
She
had
had
any-
not until it was too late.
Oh, dear.
I know, I thought Ollie cried. He just broke right down and cried.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
It was very sad, I know.
So he wasn't crying at that.
What was the matter with him?
He was crying because his seat was so uncomfortable, and there was a lady in front of him with a big hat.
A big hat, and she
Yeah.
didn't take it
She
off.
didn't take it off. But anyway, this,
Well, he should just have kept his eye on her and laughed when she did, and that would have been about the best thing he could have
there's
done.
not very much funny in this.
Just real sad.
Well, some of it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But this lady, you see, with this girl who wanted the muff, she was very, she was cold. All the time she was cold.
Oh, yes, I never could make a winter without a muff. I know that.
Well, that's it. And her little hands were cold. And this man sang to her. He sang, her name was Mimi. He said, Mimi, your tiny hands are cold. I read the translation. And then, no, he didn't sing that because he didn't know her name then. Then he asked her name, and she said, my name is Mimi. No, she said, they call me Mimi, but my name is Lucia. Oh, I don't know. I was mixed up.
It was terribly involved, wasn't it?
That was just the first act. Then the second act, they all met out on the street.
And she got the muff.
No, she didn't get them up till the very end. They all met out on the street, and, it was lots of fun. They had soldiers, and that's where they had the canasta game. And then, in the fourth act, it was snowing, and she was standing, and she didn't have her muff, and she was so cold. She was sick, but she didn't look sick.
She didn't.
She was about the healthiest girl I ever saw on the stage. Real beautiful girl, beautiful voice, but she was awful healthy.
Well, probably just that, wanting that muff so bad, she probably just made herself ill over that, don't you think?
Probably a trauma.
Trauma, undoubtedly.
Pretty sad at the end. She came in, you see, and she lay down on this bed, and she was coughing. She had a little cough, I guess, along with cold hands.
Me, it's a terrible, terrible complication.
And this fellow, I guess he was in love with her, and and this girl pawned her earrings. Say, do you suppose that
Who pawned her earrings?
this girl, the other girl, pawned her earrings?
But you had earmuffs? No, what?
She pawned her earrings to get a muff for her girlfriend.
Oh, for her girlfriend.
And she brought it back, and it was too late. The girl, it was very sad. I thought very sad. But it turned out all right. Because after the curtains came down, they opened, and this girl was standing right there taking a bow.
Well.
She wasn't sick at all, really.
Well, see, just like you said, just
Yeah,
pretending.
it turned out all right. She was just pretending all the time. I was supposed to get them up.
I wouldn't doubt it at all.
I was a little confused. But it's interesting.
Yes, it certainly is, and highly cultural.
I'm glad they sang it in Italian.
But you read it in English.
Well, I just read parts of it.
Well,
I
just
read
parts
a
of it.
synopsis, but I'm glad they sang it in Italian.
You are what?
Well, because I knew I couldn't understand it. If they'd sung it in English and I couldn't have understood it, I would have been pretty angry.
Well, I don't blame you. I would, too.
Yeah. Well, and then we went home.
And you went home.
No, I didn't go home.
Where'd you go?
I went to the pump room.
Kukla, you went to the pump room.
And I had a hot fudge sundae, too.
You didn't.
They made it right in front of my very eyes.
On a flaming sword.
No. And they brought out a little tray, you see, and on the tray they had, it was a very crowded night.
Was it?
The horse show was on.
Gee, everybody goes to the pump room now, don't they?
No, not at the pump room. The horse show wasn't there. It was after.
Oh, afterward.
Yeah. And they had all these carts, you see, that you know how crowded it gets sometimes.
Yes, I should say.
And I was worried because we almost didn't get in, but Phil let us in, and then we table, and they brought, I said, a hot fudge sundae, and they brought the tray in, and they had a little camp stove.
Little camp stove.
Mm-hmm. Little bitty camp stove, about that high, with sterno in it.
Goodness me.
I know, it's wonderful, and they lit the thing with 2 dry sticks and a tinder box.
Isn't that wonderful?
And then these fellas came in, you know, they wear knee breeches and white silk stockings,
Mm-hmm.
and they came in, and they had this little pan, and they heated it right there.
Oh,
And
isn't it
the hot
wonderful?
fudge, and then they poured it on the ice cream.
Mm.
Beulah Witch was there, too.
Beulah Witch.
Mm-hmm. She went to the opera.
How did she
She
do?
souped in it. Supered, you know, she was part of the crowd.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm.
And I think she organized the canasta game.
How
And
is
she licked the pan of the chocolate
Oh, she didn't. Not at the pump
right
room.
at the table. Oh, you know, Beulah, she's one to be different.
Yes, she is that.
People, you know, she gets tired of all these fancy manners and everything, everybody bowing, being
Mhm.
so elegant, you know. I had everything I could do to keep her from putting her feet on the table.
Oh, goodness, no.
Oh, what? She didn't.
Well, that's good.
I tied her feet, her ankles down to the bottom.
Did she wear Poole pumps?
No,
Didn't she?
she didn't wear any shoes.
No shoes?
Well, she had a long dress on.
Oh, well, so it didn't show.
No, she never wears shoes and she wears long dress. She says, why wear them out?
Well, she has a point.
She sure does. I wonder where Ollie is.
Haven't really seen him.
You know that we've stood here and talked for 15 minutes?
We haven't.
We have. Ollie?
Well, I'd better get busy and do something.
No, just wait. Let's talk to Ollie. Ollie, what are you doing?
Did Ollie go with you?
It's Saturday night?
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you told me he had a very uncomfortable seat. Well,
Yes. Ollie! Woo-hoo.
did he have a hot fudge sundae, too?
No.
Didn't
He had
have
chicken sandwich.
chicken sandwich.
Ollie! I don't know where he is. I'll go look. Wait now. Wait. You stay right
Sure.
there. Don't go away.
No, I didn't have
You
really
still there?
any place to go.
I'll stay there.
No, stay right
Don't go
here.
away.
I won't go away.
Go away. You stay right there. Go away. You still there.
Hot
Don't
fudge
go away.
sundae.
Stay.
Oh! Why don't you look where you're going?
Well, I'm just looking for you.
Well, that's a fine way to find me. Came right down clapping my head. And I had a perfectly grand and scrumptious idea for us all today.
You didn't.
Yes, I was just reading a press release.
Oh?
Yes, a press release from RCA.
Mhm.
And he was telling all about this wonderful contest that Uncle Frank Folsom has, he's president, you know,
Yeah.
has started. It's a President's Cup Award.
Oh,
Now, this is for the RCA Service Company technicians, you see. And now all the you know RCA Service Company.
Oh, sure. I know. They're the fellows that come and fix your television set
You
at
bet.
practically any time of the day or night, or install it for you and see that you get the very finest of service.
That's right. Well, now, this contest, it's called Fix It for Keeps, Fix It for Sure, Fix It for Keeps. That's their slogan, you see.
and
all
RCA Factory Service.
RCA, yes, with RCA Factory Service. And they're putting on a special contest for courteous and efficient RCA servicemen. And all the RCA servicemen are competing in order to get the they're going to get this prize. It's a cup. They might win. They
Gee,
might
that's
win this cup.
wonderful.
Isn't that great?
Well, what have we to do with that?
Well, I just read about it. That's all. We don't have anything to do with it,
Oh.
but we might have something to do with it. See, because it's so important for these fellows to meet the consumer service request promptly and courteously, which they do very
Oh,
well.
well, I'm sure they...
But they're especially stressing that now with RCA service, you know, the courteousness and promptness. You
Mhm.
see. And I was thinking, I don't know what kind of a cup it is, but we always have room in the cupboard for a cup.
What do you mean?
Well, but Ollie, we're not a
We're not
service
RCA
department.
service.
We're with RCA, aren't we?
Well,
Yeah.
yes, but that's quite a different thing.
Yes, but if somebody called us up and asked us to help them fix their television set, wouldn't we?
Yes, but we can.
Now look, we could do it very easily. We could practice today. We could.
Ollie, you
Those
big
men are
ideas.
specially trained, Ollie.
I've
They're
been trained.
they're
I've worked with
technicians.
Beulah
They're-
Witch. I have.
Well, I don't think that's exactly.
No,
RCA
I don't
service.
really think that would...
Some of RCA servicemen took special courses with Beulah Witch.
Are they any more?
Where are they now? Hmm?
Well, I don't know. I haven't kept track of them.
Well-
Why don't we do it? You can be our secretary, and we'll be a crew, one of the RCA service crew. You see, and we'll go out. Kukla, they always usually work in teams. You know, one gets up and works on the antenna, and the other one works on the set, and you know they call back and forth. Oh, it's fun. It's real great, and we can work on courteousness, and maybe we could win the cup.
Well, we have an office?
Yeah, we could have a little office, and Kook, how about it?
Well, I wouldn't mind. It's all right
We
with
should
me.
have,
Kind
we
of
should,
fun.
should have a telephone.
Yeah. Well, let's get a telephone.
All right.
Because when calls come in, you want to be right there and answer them very promptly.
Now, you're the secretary, so you'll have to have it over there, I guess.
All right, keep it right here.
Okay. Is that all set now? And what else, Ollie?
Well, we've got to have RCA service contracts.
Oh yeah. Well, we have those already. Those are wonderful things.
Well, and we hope the people who call in will have the contract.
Yes,
Then,
yes,
then they're
because-
eligible for the service.
Yes, they
and,
indeed they are. But other people are eligible too.
Well, yes, but it'd be awful nice if they had a contract, wouldn't it?
Well, it helps if you have a contract.
All right.
You can call. That entitles you to a year's service. You see.
Yes, that's what I thought.
But anybody at all, regardless of what
Can
makes
call
television
to-
set, can
for
call.
help.
Can
Mhm.
call for help. You see. Now let me see.
Do you think it would be nice if we had a kind of little, little pep meeting every morning?
I think we should come in when we come in the morning. We see you handle the calls at the switchboard. We ought to have kind of a some sort of a little cheer or something.
There's a song. There's a song written by Herb Poole, RCA Factory Service song.
I know that song.
You know that?
Well,
Did you
I think I know it.
Well, I'm not so sure I know it, but I'm.
Isn't it the one that I saw today?
Oh yes, that's the one. I remember that. Well, let's pretend now. This is early morning. All right. Now we're the servicemen. All right. Now we started. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Call RCA Factory Service. Call RCA Factory Service. There's one in your city and you can depend on RCA Factory Service. Ask one of your neighbors or ask any friend. If TV troubles are bothering you and your little family's unhappy and blue, call on the boys who know just what to do. Call RCA Factory Service. Call RCA Factory Service. Call RCA Factory Service. Good morning. Fix it for sure. Fix it for keeps. Call RCA Factory Service. Miss Hornblow speaking. What can we do for you? Mrs. who? Mrs. Snump?
Not Mrs.
What
Snump
is that
again.
address, Mrs. Snump?
Oh, we know it by heart.
Mrs. Snump.
We installed her set.
Mrs. Snump, I doubt if we could get there before the next 2 or 3 minutes. Well, sorry to cause you any delay. We'll be right there. Thank you.
Mrs. Smith, we just put a set in. Just
Squad's right. To the Snumps.
Got a car! Get the car ready! Woo-hoo! Get the car!
Yes, all right.
Let's slide down the pool!
Kukla, this is not a fire engine.
Well, we have to. This is emergency service. We're gonna.
Isn't this wonderful? It's a Ford, too.
All equipment! Let's hear you! Here's the tools! Let's put it in the truck! Here we go! How about the antenna? We got everything!
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, here we are! There's Mrs. Snoops now, right there!
Gracious sakes, what's she done? She's cut a hole in the front of her set.
You mean in front of her house?
Yeah, what's that?
I think that must be where the new picture window's going in.
I guess so. Well, let's knock.
Okay.
Well, it's about time. What kept you?
We got here as fast as we could. Good morning!
Good morning.
I'm Mr. Kukla, and this is Mr. Oliver J. Dragon, and we're from the RCA Factory Service.
How do you do?
And could you... may we help you?
The set is right over there.
Oh, it's right over here.
Yes. Oh, I tell you what, I'm just amazed. I'm absolutely amazed.
Got a tool chest.
Now, to begin with, I haven't done a thing that would in any way harm it. It should operate perfectly.
Mhm.
But I hate to tell you this. It's out of focus.
Oh, out of focus.
Definitely out of focus.
Well, I'll tell you, you'll just stand here for a minute, please, because we may want to ask you some questions. I hate
Very
to
well.
interrupt you with your work.
That's quite all right.
We want to get to the trouble, you know.
Well,
and,
certainly. That's
you
what
tell
I
us
want to
exactly
do.
how you like it and what seems to be the
Certainly
trouble. And
I
so
will.
forth, and then we'll doctor it up. We'll do our very
Indeed.
best. All right, Cook, you go up on the roof.
All right. Hey, Mrs. Snum,
Yes.
did you know that your antenna it was placed in the wrong position and it was hanging over the side?
Well, it didn't look well at all. It wasn't in any kind of fine architectural line. I turned it around myself.
You did.
It hasn't worked, as a matter of fact, since last Thursday. And I sent my husband over to get a pound of butter, and I told him to go up on the roof on his way out. So that's where he is. When you get up there, tell him I'm waiting for that butter.
I saw him up there, but I didn't want to disturb him.
And another thing. The glass part that isn't right at all. Of that I'm sure.
Well, just a moment. We'll take
It's
a look.
impossible to see through it.
Madam,
Yes.
do you have any children?
8.
8. Do they ever have in-between meal snacks?
Certainly I feed my children. They can eat whenever they want to.
Do they often eat strawberry jam?
Very often. They're very fond of it.
Madam, I hate to tell you this. I don't know, just your children must be very affectionate towards some of the characters on television.
They kiss Cactus Jim goodnight every day.
Is that about the same time they have their strawberry jam snack?
Yes, I would say it was fairly close to that time.
Well, madam, I just have to tell you this. One thing or the other is going to have to go.
Well, my children are not going to go. And it looks as though Cactus Jim is here to stay, too.
I don't mean that, madam. Either kissing is set, or you will have to tell them to take the strawberry jam off their mouths before they kiss it. That's all there's trouble with the glass.
Oh, well, fine.
Little rag here, damp rag. Well, the focus does seem to be. Are you sure you haven't touched the set, madam?
Well, I've whirled it around a little bit with the nail file in the back. I've always been able to fix everything else with a nail file.
Madam, I suggest you do not do that. If there seems to be something wrong with the set or something out of adjustment, please be sure to call the RCA factory service.
Well, I don't want to bother you people.
Why, that's what we're in the business for, my dear. Gracious sakes, we're all specially trained for that particular job, and as long as you particularly have an RCA service contract, well, you can call us any time of the day or night, and well, even if you didn't, you could. We'd be over here and very glad to help you.
Well, I'm very happy to know that.
So please feel free to call us any time.
Well, very well, I'll do that.
And I'm sorry we couldn't get your husband down. He said he likes it better up on the top of the roof.
My husband likes it better on the top of the roof.
Yes, I'm sorry, madam.
Well, really?
Well, madam, I think everything will be in perfect adjustment
I
now.
wonder if there's anything in the contract that will take care of that.
I'm afraid not, miss.
Well, I think we're all set now. I think you'll get a splendid picture.
Well, thank you very much.
We just tuned everything in, and you're getting fine signals, and I hope that your reception is very good.
Well, I'm sure it will be, and I want to thank you, service people, and I hope the USO is doing everything to make you happy. Goodbye.
USO?
Oh, that's right. She thinks we're in service. Let's go down and see if we can get some donuts.
Well, Fran?
Yes?
How did you think we did?
Oh, real good.
Do you think we could compete for the prize?
I think so.
I hope we could. I don't
You
know.
thought of a place where we can put the cup?
Hmm?
That old pump room cup I have is getting real beat up. I could use another one.
I don't think it's exactly that kind of cup.
Oh, isn't it?
No, I think it's kind of more or less a kind of a little loving cup, you know.
Oh.
Something more like this, maybe.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
Sort of a trophy cup. Probably too bright for the cameras. They're all
That's
losing their minds in there.
handsome.
Isn't it pretty? Isn't it pretty? Something like that, I imagine. I'm not sure. I think I'll call Uncle Frank and see if he would like see if we could enter this competition.
All right.
Think we should do that?
Yes, I'd be glad to work in the office.
I'll do that. Oh, that'd be wonderful. Right after the show. We'll see if we can do it.
Okay.
Bulewich insists on being in on it, too.
Well, there goes our cup.
Yeah, you bet it is. Maybe we can talk her out of it or something.
Maybe.
Well, only one thing I can say.
What's that?
Don't you remember?
Oh, yes, of course. Remember, fix it for sure.
Fix it for keeps.
Call RCA Factory Service.
This won't happen to you if you've an RCA Victor Factory Service contract. This unique contract, the only national service of its kind in television, assures you top performance year after year from your RCA Victor television receiver. For as little as $24.50, RCA Victor's own factory branch technicians install and fully service your set. No red tape either. A quick phone call will bring these skilled RCA Victor trained technicians hurrying to your home. Take advantage of RCA Victor's factory service contract. See your RCA Victor dealer first thing tomorrow and be sure of maximum television enjoyment year after year from your RCA Victor television receiver. The musical director of Kukla, Fran and Ollie is Jack Fascinato. The producer is Beulah Zachary. The director, Louis Gomovitz. And the costume designer is Joseph Lockwood.
And this is Bert Tillstrom, thanking you. Hello? Yes, Miss Witch and I'll be right over.
RCA Victor, world leader in radio, first in television, first in recorded music. Kukla, Fran and Ollie came to you from Chicago.
NBC Television.